within your spirit is a state of joy, a state of peace that never goes away. So many people have been taught principles. And a principle is beautiful, dynamic. It's so important. But one of the things that will absolutely change your life is when you take a principle and then you dive into the mechanics of that principle, the steps, the systems, the whys, the hows of that principle. In other words, that is where you discover. Let's say that you have a successful business and your kids enjoy it. They love the beautiful house, the cabin at the beach, the extra car they get to drive, and the lounges they get to sit in the rumpus room and the family room, and they don't get it because you built it from scratch. You gutted it out side by side, husband and wife, when you worked all day, all night, the things you did to get the family to where it was. And the principle of being blessed, parents usually don't really like how the kids embrace the principle. They want them to have the work ethic. They want them to be thankful. They want to understand the price that's been paid, the blood that's been spilled, etc. And I feel the same way about the Bible. If you've been here for any length of time, I love teaching the Bible, but I love doing it in a way that deals with the practicality of life, not a bunch of doctrine that's useless. And if you've been around, you know I hate religion. Religion is a bunch of man-made rules that govern so many churches where we're going to judge you and determine whether or not you're good enough. Church is a place where we accept each other because you can't change anybody, including your spouse, and it'll take you a while to figure that out. And so you love people the way they are. You accept them the way they are. And then when they fall in love with the Word of God, you say, well, I would never fall in love with the Bible. It's got so many rules. I'd have to obey all these rules. Yeah, that's what religion's taught you. So I want to share some stuff that if you'll listen, and maybe listen to this a few times, I'm going to go through 8 points, bam, 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 all the way through. But I'm hoping I can open up your eyes to something about how special you are, how incredible you are. The Bible uses this term, the hidden man. Then it talks about the old man. I called my dad the old man once. It was a cool thing to do when I was a teenager and said, how's my old man today? My dad was never an emotional, angry man. He just stopped, turned around, and he walked over to me. He looked up at me because he was a short guy. And he said, son, never call me again the old man. I'd never seen him like this. I went, deal, absolutely. Well, I'm not calling you the old man. But the Bible has a term, and it's got to do with you, the old man. Then it talks about the new man. And so you have a hidden man. Now, for the teenagers that are here, and a lot of us men, if you like Marvel comics, it kind of reminds me of Spider-Man. It said Peter Parker is the average teenager going to high school. You wouldn't know a thing till there's an emergency, and then all of a sudden he literally is 10 times stronger than any other teenager. He can stick to walls, throw webs. There's a combination of stuff he developed and his incredible strength and his spidey sense that goes off and can hear a cry for help from blocks away. And people are fascinated with Marvel comics. They've made billions of dollars because inside of every one of us is this innate sense that I'm more than my body. I'm more than my mind. I am more than my emotions. I'm more than my physical skills, and I'm more than my mental skills. Some of you have incredible muscle memory, and in sports, you're amazing. Some of you have fast twitch muscles. Some of you have slow twitch muscles. We know this. We can look at all the giftedness that goes in physical and in the mind. Some of you that work for us, I mean, everyone that works for me is smarter than me, but to sit down and look at the people who know numbers, you kind of go, you just figured that out in one conversation? Like they actually read accounting books. Like, go figure. They read computer books. I mean, stuff like that. And so we all have skills and abilities, but I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the hidden man and the hidden woman deep inside of you. The Bible refers to it often, and that hidden man is influencing your life in horrible ways or in wonderful ways. Now, this hidden man is your spirit. And it's the real you. Now, when you look at the Bible, let's talk about Adam in the garden. Adam and Eve, the story shares about how when, the beginning of time, that area, that they disobeyed God. And something unique when you read the story takes place. Adam, who was confident, a leader, walking around animals, naming them, giving them names as God had asked him to. All of a sudden, after a disobedient incident, he's hiding and running from God. Because Adam became born again. Adam and Eve became born again in reverse. Their spirit was full of the Spirit of God. Their spirit was full of the presence of God, radiating confidence and joy, radiating power to have dominion over the planet, over animals, whatever's in the water, the air. Man had dominion. He could dive in the ocean and swim with great whites. They would obey him. Okay, this is a biblical picture of man's dominion over the planet. But when Adam changed and disobeyed God, then he had spiritual death. And because of the dark kingdom, the kingdom of darkness, his spirit man emptied itself of the presence of God, which is filled with joy and peace and confidence and a connection to God so incredible that deep inside it goes, hey, Dad. Whereas now they have no ability to enter and to meet with God or to enter the presence of God. Adam became born again. The light of the presence of God went out. And to make matters worse, his spirit now connected to the kingdom of darkness. Your spirit connects to spiritual things. Your body connects to physical things, and your mind connects to mental things, emotional things. The voice is the voice of reasoning. Now, when you follow Adam, the world became brutally awful. I mean, incredibly bad. When you watch movies, they'll make it look as if hundreds of years ago that, we had teepees or igloos or dugouts or, huts, and the kids played in the long grass, and we shot the antelope and the buffalo, and in Africa we killed this, and it was just, life was so pastoral and peaceful. That is such a lie. When you study the Bible in actual recorded history, it was so brutal that men had the right in almost all societies to kill women or kids. They reigned. There was evil. They worshiped idols that called for child sacrifices. I mean, you go and actually look at history. It is so sick as man's spirit connected to the darkness. There's two kingdoms in the spirit world, the kingdom of light, the kingdom of darkness, and man had no ability to connect to the kingdom of light and to God. But because his spirit was still there, it connected to another spirit realm, the kingdom of darkness. And so man could now manifest such doubt, such anger, such fear, selfishness, self-centeredness is the very root of witchcraft. Bible says very clearly that stubbornness is as the sin of witchcraft. There's so much in the Bible that is so brilliant that I'm fascinated. I've been studying it now for 45 years, preaching for 40, and I just can't get enough of it. I just love to get and just to share. Look what I'm seeing here now. So the old self was born into spiritual death. And that is where doubt, fear, you feel empty, discouraged, unloved, lost, that orphan's heart that every human being has. Study all the great men and women of past from centuries ago who could invent things, and you'll find although they seem to have an ability to be incredible thinkers, they're so messed up inside, they've got to find whatever pleasures they can to give them a break because they're so empty. They feel like orphans. They feel, and all of us feel like that. This is the condition of the old self, your spirit without Christ. Now, when the cross came about and Jesus died for you and I, it made it possible for us to be forgiven, for our penalty to be removed, and not just forgiven, but a new life to now come inside the hidden man. And the hidden man, which was the old self, you now become a new self. And the presence of God, the nature of God enters your spirit. And now within your spirit is a state of joy, a state of peace that never goes away. There's a state of love, a state of such confidence. But the problem is your mind and your body have been trained under the kingdom of darkness. And so you need to understand now that this born again, the Bible calls it, nature change in the hidden man has to come alive on the rest of you. This sense of belonging and peace and you're powerfully energized. This development of the new creation is the nature of the Father taking over the rest of your life, which is up to you.